Okay, so I'm going to reflect on something because I did make a mistake in the free download Friday video and I just didn't have enough information. So one, I didn't do the soft clipping correctly, so I will explain and do that again. And two, which is more important, how the free download works, I didn't check. And of course, in the video, I, kind of, it played off like a joke, but it definitely wasn't. Like I was for real. I didn't know. But you do have to buy something from D16 Group to be able to get the Frontier plugin for free. So this link is what I would use because Plugin Boutique, I think, handles their Keurig is a little better than what D16 Group on their site is, in my opinion. Your experience could be different, but you can get Decimor for $50. I highly recommend it. Search my channel. I have plenty of videos on that. Definitely a fantastic plugin for lo-fi. Probably the best in my opinion. So, all right, moving forward here. Now that I have, explained that again, I have the same track up. And what I'm going to go ahead and get to the meat of the track because I think that's more important that I do that. So let me get to the busiest part. So I do have it on. I'm going to make sure I don't have the Fruity Limiter on at all. I do use Fruity Limiter for the same purpose that Frontier is used for, but Frontier has something a little special about it. Again, it resembles the LA2A. I mean, damn. I mean, well, on the flip side, it will be more or less your threshold will be on the right and then your output volume on your left. And then when you push it, of course, that's when the soft clipping happens. So I'm going to push it now and we're going to listen to it. So when I pushed it, when I soft clips in the virtual world, but in the analog world, it definitely is clipping. Now, the whole point of digital clipping is this right here. I'm just going to go ahead and bypass. Now I'm going to turn it on and let's hear it. And you'll see because all the meters will run. Now, you can see there's more harmonic excitement here. Let me fix my hat. In this plugin here because of that. Now, let's go. I'm going to hear it again because I want to hear it as clear as possible and explain what's going on. Now, what if I was to turn soft clipping off? What the hell would happen here? I'm going to go ahead and switch it off. As you can see in a reflection of the output meter, it is not limited to 0. See, this is a limiter and all that, but what makes it special is the fact that you can soft clip, which is a different way of clipping. What it does is it slows down those aggressive peaks, especially like with like 808s, maybe perhaps not 808s, but like your kick drum and snare. So like those things are things that usually are the loudest part of your track. So it gives it an even amount of harmonics to certain parts of your sound that wouldn't necessarily have that punch, but at the same time slowly lowering the peaks so that it keeps it at a controlled state of 0. So you actually can see that in the master over here too as well. And you also can see it in the output meter now. I mean, that doesn't mean that you can push it really hard and it's going to sound good. But it definitely does its job as far as soft clipping. Now, there is the threshold where adjusting the threshold will not only adjust the peaks and such, but it will also affect things like the attack and release rate. So now let's hear it with a little bit of threshold in here. Now I rolled up the parameter or attenuated it so that you can see that it can be ugly. Like, this is not a safeguard to you having nice loud mixes that have controlled dynamics if you're not like paying attention. Like, your best tool for the job in any part of mixing is your ears. I don't care what anybody else says. You know, a lot of engineers on damn YouTube now, a lot of them very unprofessional. Yes, I am taking shots, but a lot of good engineers on here, and a lot of people that I talk to definitely will tell you about soft clipping can be a very useful tool. So with that, you can actually see in the middle the gain reduction, how it's working. Now, of course, if I adjust the threshold, you will start seeing the gain reduction happen. Now, with adjusting the threshold, you will see that you have, or you can hear the actual dips in the track. And when you hear those dips in the track, I want you to understand that the waveform itself would actually have those type of movements in it. So it's pretty much a reflection of your waveform. I'm also, if you are listening on like studio monitors or headphones, I'm listening on a pair of Beyerdynamic DT770s. Can't recommend them any more than I have. If not every engineer recommends them anyways, who does love mixing in headphones. More about stuff like that later. But you can hear different elements of the clap. The clap is layered, but at this threshold, you really can't hear that. But if I was to turn up the threshold a wee bit more, you can actually hear the semblance of the layer. You can hear it loud and clear. So with that, I mean, just use soft clipping to your advantage. Now, the other part of the video, which I don't know how in the hell I would mess that up, was this part right here. Of course, I use the glue compressor in Ableton Live because, again, and let me go ahead and disappear on that ass again. I use the glue compressor because it does resemble exactly the same thing as Frontier. So it's not even necessary for me to have it, but it's just a good tool to have because sometimes you get a little bit of a different feel from different plugins like you will from different hardware, believe it or not. So with that, I have it pushed already. Pay attention to this area, and matter of fact, I'm gonna turn it off so you can see. See, it's +4. Now if I was to turn it on, let's see if anything has changed or whatnot, because I did discover that it's a little different in here. See, it does work. It works much different in Ableton altogether. Now that part is it hasn't changed. Now, I mean, I can go a little further and push it harder, and yes, it's gonna get louder. And it, depending on preferences, will it be a big difference? In between that, I turned soft clipping off, and you can see that it went to plus 5.7 dB here. So his definitely is still loud as shit, and it's still apparently digitally clipping. So it does work a little different in different DAWs. So now, of course, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off Frontier, and I'm gonna turn off the glue, turn on the glue compressor, so you can see the major difference between their soft clipping and this plugin soft clipping. As you can see, I turned up the makeup gain a lot, and I can go and say that. As you can see, they work much different. Like, it's not digitally clipping. So I don't know what's going on there, if it was tested in Ableton or not, but that's kind of like, damn, I wish it really would. But it's still a good tool for like FL Studio users if you really want to use that. You also have Fruity Limiter, which does the exact same thing. I can notice with the Fruity Limiter different kinds of detail. Not that I'm negating or being negative about it, versus the Frontier, because everybody has personal preference. But anyways, guys, I hope I kind of clarified what was going on with this. Damn it, glitch, motherfuckers! Now you can see why I edit now. Uh, but hopefully, guys, again, I do apologize for the misunderstanding here, and then the sort of, well, very bad explanation of Frontier. Also, guys, oh my God, with the whole serial number thing, because I don't know, because I tried to log back into my account over here, D16 Group, and for some reason I can't. I don't know if they just peeped the video and they just was not happy about it and canceled my account. I'm not trying to be malicious or anything towards these guys, because I still think that their products are good, and I definitely do like Decimort, and I highly recommend Frontier as well. If you use that. They definitely do, but I would go to Plugin Boutique for the love of goodness. I think they handle their plugins from different companies a lot better in certain cases. In my case, D16 Group, and if D16 Group has an issue with me, stuttering and stuff, yeah, just hit me up in an email. Let's like hash it out and let's talk, because I'm not trying to start anything or have anything, you guys have some type of beef with me or anything like that. I'm 100% obviously legit. So anyways, DJ F here, Stamp Time. Much love to everybody that watched this video.
Trap Tendo.